Hi guys, it's Bosa. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. So for today's video, I'll be taking you guys with me to Bundibugo district to visit the Sempaya hot springs. So actually Bundibugo is quite hilly and the road is actually tarmac, because I remember a few years ago my friend's dad worked there and she used to talk about going to visit her dad, and the road was so bad back then. I think it was around 2012 2011, but it was the views for me. Like, guys, you cannot tell me that you actually do not see this. So the hot springs are found in Semiliki National Park, and we had to trek through a forest. This is my friend Tendo and I have been friends since we were teenagers, so you might or might not see her a lot in my videos because she's actually one of those people that I hang out with a lot in real life. So it's actually mandatory to come with a guide here that is provided by UWEC. You don't have to pay a separate fee for the guide. It automatically comes when you pay to access the hot springs. We went to the female hot springs first. Now, one thing I want to say is our guide was quite informed. Actually, not quite. He was well informed. He began by telling us what the locals believed in, and then he gave us the actual science behind the hot springs and how they came about. Now, guys, please tip your guides. Yeah, just tip your guides. So at this point, they do cook some food, boil some eggs, cook some meat if you want to, but because we're not going to be here for a long time, we decided to put some eggs in. You don't have to worry about carrying eggs there. They do sell eggs at the park. They're quite expensive, but they sell them. So he just showed me how to put them in. I put them in and I showed you guys my happy dance, and then we decided to go and explore more of the hot springs, of the female hot springs. So he took us to the other part that is more feminine, if I might. So I kind of understand, not really, why this is called the female hot spring. It's almost like it's peeing. So this place is actually hot. The water is boiling hot. The water is actually at boiling point, and it is good for some pigs. If you follow me on the gram, you have probably seen these. The stones are not as hot, so you can sit by them, you can touch them. After 10 minutes, which I learned that day that hard-boiled eggs take 10 minutes to get ready, we went back to the boiling point and picked our eggs that were actually ready, like they were ready. And by the way, guys, you don't have to worry about carrying a spoon to this place. They do provide these. Don't worry about that, because I know the water is hot, so you can't touch it. One would wonder, however, they're supposed to pick their food or whatever it is that they've put in the hot water, just in case they didn't carry like an accessory or a tool to remove them. So we actually walked back to the car now, just because we had just had lunch. We didn't find the need to eat the eggs there and then. The guide actually had helped us carry them from the hot springs. He just handed them over to me and I put them in a box. Now, to get to the male hot springs, you do pass through another forest. We had to drive like 2-3 minutes away from where we had initially stopped to get to the female hot springs. And then we met the guide who told us about so many trees. Like I said, this guy was very informed. He was very polite. He was very nice and very calm. He knew so many things. So just listen to some tree knowledge in this time as we go on.
A shade, and the soil will be soft, so it can keep some little water, which will sustain that tree for the 2 months dry spell.
So the trees predict the coming dry season.
They predict the weather, even birds and whatnot. It bends around. You may think it's maybe going to die off. Then after, it generates again. So everywhere I find this tree, this is how it is formed. Very unique. What feeds on is
it part of the other
this
one?
Part of the other one.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So this Aristonia is more like, it can confuse you. Like, it looks like Pakia, and it has got it has kind of like milk sap, and that sap is poisonous. but primates feed on it. In the dry season, baboons, we will find baboons feeding on these young leaves to survive. This one is called the Cyphostema quadrangularis. Yeah. So this is Cyphostema quadrangularis, and that's a botanical name, but English name is called Ras natalensis. This Ras natalensis, the Bahima Banyankole, they use these the leaves.
The leaves.
There's a way how they use them to clean their where they put milk, they call it what?
Chance. What is pot?
Yeah, pots, they are terms of that nature. So they use them to clean those pots.
The male hot springs actually looks like one of those Maldives walkways that are surrounded by water, only that this one is surrounded by a swamp. And I say swamp not in a bad way, but like, you know, nature and vegetation. And I think it was quite cute for pictures if you wanted to. It was quite a long walkway. So here is a picture of my friend Tendo once again doing the things. I really highly suggest that you visit the Sempaya hot springs. So this is a male hot spring, mostly because of the locals' beliefs. Nothing about this looks male, if I'm being frank with you, but something about a man disappearing around here and gaining fertility and whatnot. I digress. But we couldn't spend a lot of time here as compared to the female hot spring because the soil is softer. And
then here, so this is done for a short time because this water is very hot, and of course, you know, even the ground will be burning you. So why we come here is that we want to tell you to witness what people sacrifice here. These are the bones of chicken and goats. That is money. I think you have seen so many 500 coin money all over the water. This is $1 which someone put. That's 5,000 eggs. All these are put by people who believe that when they sacrifice, they become rich, others will become fertile. That's a shrine for male rituals.
So if you remove the dollar, what?
tell me, you can't remove the dollar.
Once a dollar gets in water.
Okay.
So when you step aside from the hot spring, you actually just see like smoke coming out of a lake kind of thingy. And I think this was one of the most beautiful hot springs that I have seen. Don't get me wrong, I haven't been to so many, but I have been to Chitagata, and it's this one for me. So being at this hot spring is equivalent to being in a steam bath or a sauna, only that this one contains some minerals because nature and whatnot. Following my last videos, I did get some DMs from you guys asking me how I was able to plan these trips. One thing I would highly suggest is cost sharing. I will also insert a page for our guide that took us to all the trips we went to, from Karamoja to Western Uganda. He's been taking us on trips all around. Even in the past, he's quite affordable, his rates are good, and he's quite well versed with the places, so he knows where to take people and he knows the best deals. Check him out on Instagram. I mean, you never know, he could have something for you. He's also very cautious while driving, so you're very comfortable and you feel safe all around. So check him out. If you guys are interested in knowing what we did in Karamoja or things that you can do if you're planning to visit Karamoja, please wait for next week's video. Other than that, love and blessings. See you in the next one.